Okay, this is a follow through from the other day with sanding and with normal sandpaper. This is wet and dry sandpaper. Okay, everybody uses it, or I hope you use it to do your finishing. I've got 240, 360 because I can't get 400 here for some reason, 600, I can't get 800, and 1000. Yeah, this is the paper I use mostly. This is the part, yeah, which is resined now and it's needing finishing, flattening and polishing. So unless you need to, I start off normally with about 400 grit, and again exactly the same as what I said before with the 400 grit. I've got a half sheet which I then cut in half. I then fold it, and I've got my wet and dry ready for use. Yeah, this is a 360. I've also got a bucket of water, clean water, and I've put a new surface down on the top because I don't want to scratch anything. You dip the thing in water, after a couple of dips it will stick together. Yeah, now when you're rubbing, like I said before, you rub one side, you use it all. Okay, you then turn it over, you can use the second side till it's full. If you've got lumps on there, you shouldn't have because you're wet and drying it, but if you have got lumps on there, use a knife, remove them, because you don't want any lumps or unevenness on the paper, because you'll get scratches on your work. Then all you do then is you take them apart, put them back together, and then you've got two more sides to use. Okay, it's better than doing this, breaking a bit off, using it to sand, yeah, and then throwing it away. Breaking a bit off, using it to sand, throwing it away, or just using one bit, you know, like this. When you're trying to just fold it in half and then try to rub with it, you get that. Yeah, it won't stop moving. Yeah, but when you get your paperwork done this way, and you've got paper in your part, when you're moving, you can see nothing moves. Okay, and again, exactly the same as before, diagonal, and I'm only going lightly because I'm only taking any imperfections out of the resin. Yeah, and then again, opposite direction, until I remove any high spots and get down to the low spots. Yeah, okay, and all you should get is a white discoloration of the water. That's it. If you get black, you've gone through to the carbon. Yeah, and I'm doing circular as well, but that's once I've done diagonal. Okay, and then when you wipe it, you can see highs and low spots. Yeah, and then you just wet your part again, your paper again, and again work on just the area where the low spot is. Yeah, because of course the part's not always completely flat, but the good thing about this is you can curve it. So if you're doing an internal radius, you can curve it to suit your finger, yeah, and rub. If you've got a tighter radius, you can fold it up even more and squash it down. If you've got a straight edge, you just use the edge, yeah, and tuck it in. Or you can get a block of carbon, a block of wood or whatever, put some Scotch weld on it, yeah, let it go off, put Scotch weld on the paper, bond it to the block. You've got a block for blocking small areas, etc. So yeah, it's all common sense stuff, but it's the best way to do it. I mean, I've been doing it for 40 years, so, and my fingers are fine, and I'm not doing hard work either. It's not I'm having to force the paper down onto the part. Okay, and then just wipe it, and if I want to I can again do the same as I did before with a bit of thinners and a clean rag. To clean the part, just to inspect it and see if there is anything else I need to do. And I can see I've got a run there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, in the resin. There's a little shiny part underneath it. I can carry on sanding, yeah, until it's gone. But I don't want to hit it too heavily, because I don't want to remove too much resin, otherwise I'm going to have to put resin back on it again. So this is just the way I sand, yeah, and that's with 360, and then I'll go to 600, which is even thinner, finer, sorry, not thinner. Again, a half piece, fold, fold, and I'm ready again. Water, and I don't want to go too heavy because I don't want to remove too much resin. And again you can see the whiteness of the water. That means I haven't hit any carbon. No dirty water as in black. I'll do the other end later. Look. You see how white it is, yeah? And you can feel it. Another thing as well, when you're rubbing down and you want to see if a surface is flat, you put your fingers over it and you can feel it, yeah? But this is the important thing. Don't look at the part when you're rubbing it with your fingers. Actually turn your sight away, or just don't look, and just rub your fingers over it, because what happens is your fingers are more sensitive to all the undulations, the highs, the lows, any imperfections, yeah, and they can feel better if you're not looking, or if you close your eyes, and you know then whether it's okay or not. That's what I've always done, and it works, yeah. So that's 600, yeah. I'm only doing it quickly so I can show you. Again, clean. I'm not worried about the very end, because the end sits inside a recess on the bike, yeah. And they have to adjust it when they fit it anyway. So, right, a bit of thinners again, just over the surface, and the thinners makes it look like it's polished, yeah, so I can see any imperfections with the thinners on there as well. Now, once I've got to that point, I'll go on to the 1000, and then after that I'll polish it, okay. But there you can see I've got a little low spot there and a little low spot there. I'll just get rid of them slowly. Shiny area here, so I haven't contacted it yet, which I'll do, and the same there. Very, very carefully and without damaging the carbon. Alright, so I'll go back to the 400, and I'm not rubbing too hard because I don't want to go through the resin to the carbon. And if it is still a bit deep, you can always do just a centralised repair. Rough up the low spot, get some resin, and just with a tip of something put the resin in there, and then put some tape over it to seal it in that position so it doesn't run anywhere. That's it, and then let it dry. And then of course the 1000. You can go up to 1200 or even more if you want, but the finer you go, the easier it then becomes to polish it afterwards anyway. So I find 1000's okay, and then polish afterwards is good. And again, same process, folding it, wetting it, and nothing moves. The paper doesn't move in your hand. And you get a nice finished surface. And that will be ready for polishing now. Because I'll do a visual check, make sure I've got no spots on there, and you can still see, look, even with the 1000, it comes out white, which is means it's just removing some of the resin. And again, this is just quick so that I can show you. And I'm sorry. Oh, and by the way, I've got a top on. Okay, Craig. Right. You can see, look, nice smooth finish. And then some cloth and some polish. Okay, yeah. This is just something I picked up in the local store. Not that good, but it does the job. Some rags. Okay, I was going to say you've got to wet the rag anyway, but damp it down, remove any excess, and then if I just do this area quickly, you can see the finish. And this is literally very quickly, so don't expect it to be perfect because I have to spend more time on it. I will have to do it a bit more to get it to shine like glass, but this is how we do it, or how I do it. I use a polishing machine normally, but I haven't got one here, so everything's done by hand. All my equipment is in England still. And you can see the carbon coming through now. And again, this is only quickly. You can have a matte finish, you can have a satin finish, you can have a polished finish. It depends on what you want. and I'll just keep doing that until it shines and comes out nicely. Now I've only been doing this a few minutes, yeah. I can see it starting to come out anyway. Normally if you're doing carbon you shouldn't need to do this, but this is because it's a resin overlay to give it more depth. Then yeah, but if it comes out of a mould it should be really nicely finished, and you just need to give it a quick rub down, maybe a little bit of lacquer, and that's it. Okay, that's the start of it, yeah. So, and now I'll just carry on until it's glass. That's it.